What just happened? Seriously, what on earth just happened in Ohio? Welcome back, tennis fans. Today, we are breaking down a story that has completely taken over the sports world. A moment that literally sent shockwaves through the Lindner Family Tennis Center, across the global tennis community, and straight into the broadcast booths of ESPN and the Women's Tennis Association. The Cincinnati Open just witnessed a match that had absolutely everything you could possibly ask for in professional sports. Heartbreak, triumph, a bizarre viral mystery beverage, a stunning, relentless comeback, an atmosphere unlike anything this historic tournament has ever seen in its decades of existence. Let's talk about the 19-year-old Filipino phenom, Alex Eala. Let us talk about the American powerhouse, Amanda Anisimova. Let's talk about a colossal clash that stretched late into muggy Ohio night, wrapping up just before 1 a.m. and leaving tens of thousands of fans absolutely breathless. But more importantly, let's talk about the absolute bombshell report dropped by ESPN in the direct aftermath of this stunning, gut-wrenching defeat for the Filipino superstar. Yes, the news is official, and the heartbreak is real. Eala's spectacular Cincinnati Open campaign has come to an end. She fell to Anisimova in 3 grueling sets, 4-6, 6-4, 6-2, in a battle that pushed both women to their absolute physical and mental limits for 2 hours and 28 minutes. But the story, the real earth-shattering story, is what happened off the court. It is what happened before the first serve was even struck. It is what ESPN has just revealed about the undeniable, unstoppable, and frankly unprecedented phenomenon that the tennis world is now calling the Eala effect. According to staggering new reports, ESPN just confirmed what the tennis world has been watching all week with their jaws firmly on the floor. Alex Eala is not just a rising star anymore. She is, without a doubt, Cincinnati's biggest crowd magnet, and Filipino fans have officially completely and utterly taken over the entire tournament. Before she even stepped on the court, ESPN reported that Eala's matches have become mandatory, must-see blockbuster events. Her importance has transcended the sport itself. But it is the sheer numbers that are leaving tournament directors speechless and broadcasters scrambling. According to tournament insiders and recent broadcast reports, a mind-boggling 80% of all ticket inquiries for the entire Cincinnati Open were asking about one thing, and one thing only: Alex Eala's match schedule. Not the tournament as a whole, not the established Grand Slam champions, not the legacy legends of the game. 80% of the demand was tied to a single teenager from the Philippines. The secondary ticket market exploded into absolute chaos. Fans were reportedly paying up to $1,000 just to get a glimpse of her stepping onto the court. Think about that for a second. We're talking about a sport historically dominated by massive global icons, and right now, the biggest draw in the game is a young woman who is rewriting the rules of fan engagement in real time. We have heard incredible stories this week of fans planning their entire college reunions around a trip to see Eala play. We have heard about dedicated, die-hard supporters who watched her compete in Toronto and then immediately jumped into their vehicles to drive 8 agonizing hours across international borders just to see her play again in Cincinnati. The stadiums are completely packed to the rafters. Philippine flags are waving in every single corner of the arena, turning a neutral venue into a chaotic, beautiful, deafening home court advantage. The chants of "Let's go, Alex" echoed so loudly through the Lindner Family Tennis Center that veteran commentators admitted on air that even the most seasoned players on tour are realizing they have never played in front of an atmosphere quite like this. Today, we are going to dive deep into every single angle of this breaking story. Grab a seat, get comfortable, and let us unpack the absolute madness that just unfolded in Cincinnati. Let us start by dissecting the match itself, because what happened on that court was a masterclass in momentum shifts, psychological warfare, and the brutal reality of elite-level tennis. Eala came into this match riding a wave of unbelievable momentum. She had just won her first WTA singles title in Washington. She was sitting on a massive 5-match winning streak against top 10 opponents, having recently claimed the scalps of heavyweights like Iga Swiatek, Elena Rybakina, Alina Svitolina, and Jessica Pegula. Her record against the top 10 this year stood at an astonishing 7-3. So when she stepped onto the court against the 10th-ranked Anisimova, Eala did not look like an underdog. She looked like a conqueror ready to claim her next territory. The first set proved exactly why she is the most talked-about player on earth right now. Eala found herself down an early break at 3-4, a deficit that would mentally shatter many young players. But Eala simply dug deep, channeling the deafening roar of her supporters. She battled back ferociously, turning the tide with aggressive, unintimidated shot-making to secure the opening set 6-4 after an hour and 5 minutes of grueling baseline rallies. She was hitting through the court, dictating the pace, and forcing Anisimova to constantly play off her back foot. Then came the second set, and with it, a bizarre viral moment that set the internet entirely ablaze. During a crucial changeover, commentators noticed something highly unusual. Anisimova was spotted sipping from a mysterious, fizzy, amber-colored drink. Immediately, social media erupted. The guesses started flying wildly. Was it beer? Was it apple cider? Was it some secret, magical concoction? Live sports thrive on this kind of spontaneous, unscripted mystery, and perception always moves so much faster than the facts. Eventually, it was confirmed to be nothing more than a can of Red Bull, poured over ice into a cup. But the viral theatricality, combined with a brief moment where Anisimova dramatically stumbled while chasing down a shot, sent the online discourse into complete overdrive. Despite the distractions, Anisimova found her rhythm, gradually breaking down Eala's defenses to take the second set 6-4, forcing a dramatic decider. The climax of this drama unfolded in the deciding third set, and this is where the heartbreak truly sets in for the Filipino faithful. Eala, riding the adrenaline and the unbelievable noise of the stadium, surged to a quick 2-0 lead. She was playing her signature brand of fearless tennis. The finish line was absolutely in sight. The crowd was on its feet, ready to witness another monumental victory. Then came the ultimate turning point, the fifth game of the final set. Eala was serving, holding a commanding 40-15 lead. She was exactly 2 points away from taking a critical 3-2 lead in the set and cementing her momentum. But in professional tennis, 2 points can feel like an insurmountable mountain. Eala could not close the door. Anisimova, showing the brilliant resilience and veteran composure that makes her a top-tier champion, dug her heels firmly into the hard court. She saved the game points, rattled off 4 straight points to break Eala's serve. And from that exact moment, the dynamic of the entire match flipped on its head. Anisimova caught fire. She won that game, and then she won the next 5 consecutive games, sealing the final set 6-2 and completing a miraculous, soul-crushing comeback. Anisimova stated after the match that she was incredibly proud of her performance for finding a way to push herself through the dark middle of the match when things looked incredibly bleak. She walked into a stadium that felt like a hostile away game, faced an opponent playing the absolute best tennis of her life, and found a way to survive. But let us zoom out from the baseline and look at the bigger, grander picture, because the true legacy of this match is not the final scoreline. It is the unprecedented cultural phenomenon that surrounded it. Cincinnati Open tournament director Bob Moran was left absolutely stunned by what he witnessed this week. According to Moran, supporters began gathering outside the venue hours before the gates even opened. They were desperate, absolutely determined, to secure the best possible general admission seats for Eala's matches. When she played on Court 3 earlier in the week, it was absolute pandemonium. The tournament experienced record-breaking attendance numbers over the weekend, and a massive portion of that surge can be directly attributed to the legions of Filipino fans who have transformed Eala's matches into a traveling, global festival. The passion is intoxicating. It is reminiscent of the kind of nationalistic fervor we usually only see in the final stages of the World Cup or the Olympic Games. Yet here it is, taking place in the middle of a WTA 1000 event in Ohio. ESPN's Bombshell report highlighted that the demand for Eala is completely warping the traditional, age-old metrics of tennis fandom. When a single player generates 80% of all ticket inquiries for a massive international tournament, you are no longer dealing with a rising athlete. You are dealing with a global superstar in the making. The secondary market exploding with $1,000 tickets just to see a third-round match is something out of a fever dream for tennis promoters. The sport has been desperate for a new generation of transcendent stars to take the mantle from the legends who have recently walked away from the game. What the executives and broadcasters are realizing right now is that Alex Eala is not just bringing a fresh, dynamic game to court. She is bringing an entire, fiercely loyal nation with her. She is mobilizing a demographic of fans who are incredibly vocal, wonderfully passionate, and willing to travel the globe to support their hero. The broadcast networks are paying very close attention. ESPN knows that whenever Eala steps onto court, the ratings are guaranteed to spike dramatically. The engagement metrics on social media are through the roof. This is the Eala effect in its absolute purest form. Consider the severe psychological toll this takes on her opponents. Amanda Anisimova addressed it directly in her post-match comments. She acknowledged the incredible atmosphere, noting that she knew beforehand it would be a packed, raucous stadium, and that Eala brings an unbelievable fan base everywhere she goes. To step onto the court and hear a wall of sound cheering against your every winner and celebrating your every unforced error requires a mental fortitude of absolute steel. Tennis is an isolating, lonely sport. You are out there all by yourself, with no coaching timeouts to save you, no teammates to pass the ball to, and nowhere to hide from the pressure. When the crowd turns a polite tennis stadium into a roaring football arena, it completely changes the geometry of the game. It is a testament to Anisimova's vast experience that she navigated the storm. But for many other players on the tour, that kind of suffocating environment will be their worst nightmare. Let us also not forget what Eala has accomplished this entire season. Even with this difficult, exhausting loss in Cincinnati, she is rapidly, aggressively climbing the world ranks. She arrived in Ohio fresh off a magnificent run through the North American hardcourt swing, which included capturing her first WTA singles title in Washington. She shocked the world by reaching the fourth round of Wimbledon, taking down defending champion Iga Swiatek in the process. She made a stunning semifinal run at the Miami Open that first put the entire globe on notice. She is now a proven champion, an established force, and a legitimate threat to every single player on the tour. She recently became only the second youngest Asian player in history to record at least 10 WTA 1000 hardcourt victories in a single season, trailing only the legendary Naomi Osaka. Her live ranking is projected to hit a career-high number 14 in the world. She is breaking barriers, shattering all previous expectations, and carrying the immense weight of an entire country on her 19-year-old shoulders with a grace, humility, and maturity that is simply astonishing to witness. As we look ahead, the dust is just beginning to settle in Cincinnati, but the massive reverberations of this tournament will be felt for a very long time. Alex Eala may have lost a match, but she unequivocally won the entire week. The bombshell reports from ESPN, the staggering ticket sales, the overwhelming, deafening crowd support. It all points to one undeniable truth. The sport of tennis is changing, and it is changing rapidly. The traditional gatekeepers of the sport are witnessing a seismic, unstoppable shift in how fans engage with tennis. The polite, quiet, golf-clap crowds of the past are being completely replaced by passionate, vibrant, flag-waving supporters who treat every single point like a championship point in a Grand Slam final. And at the absolute center of this brilliant cultural revolution is Alex Eala. She now packs her bags and heads to New York for the U.S. Open, which begins on August 30th. And if you thought Cincinnati was loud, if you thought Ohio was chaotic, just wait until the massive Filipino community in New York and the surrounding East Coast area descends upon Flushing Meadows. The USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center is already famous for its raucous, electric atmosphere. The night matches in Arthur Ashe Stadium are legendary for their volume, their intensity, and their unforgiving nature. If Eala continues to play at this elite, top-tier level, and her fans continue to mobilize exactly the way ESPN has reported, the U.S. Open could very well turn into the ultimate global stage for the Eala effect to fully explode onto mainstream consciousness. The pressure will be immense. The spotlight will be brighter, hotter, and more intense than ever before. But if the spectacular summer has proven anything, it is that Alex Eala does not just survive in the spotlight. She thrives in it. She absorbs the energy. She deeply respects her supporters. And she constantly reminds everyone that she does not take this incredible journey or this massive wave of love for granted. We are watching a generational talent come into her own, not just as a phenomenal athlete, but as a genuine cultural icon. The ranking points she earned in Cincinnati will continue to push her closer and closer to that highly coveted top 10 status. The prize money will fund her continued evolution and training. But the true, invaluable prize she took away from Ohio is the absolute certainty that she is the most compelling story in women's tennis right now. The tour desperately needs her. The broadcasters rely on her. And the fans, quite clearly, cannot get enough of her. This ESPN bombshell is just the beginning. The networks will undoubtedly be fighting tooth and nail over the broadcasting rights to her matches. Tournament directors around the world will be begging her to enter their events, knowing with absolute certainty that her sheer presence guarantees a sellout crowd and a massive boost to the local economy. It is a fascinating, unprecedented dynamic, and we are lucky enough to have a front row seat to watch it all unfold. Now, I want to hear from you, the viewers, the fans, the absolute heartbeat of this sport. What is your immediate reaction to this incredible breaking news from ESPN? Are you shocked by the sheer magnitude of the Eala effect? With 80% of ticket inquiries focused solely on one single player? How do you think she will bounce back from this heartbreaking 3-set loss to Anisimova as she prepares for the massive, intense stage of the U.S. Open? Do you believe the tennis world is truly ready for this kind of passionate, overwhelming fan culture to become the new normal? And most importantly, are you part of the Filipino takeover that is currently reshaping the entire landscape of professional tennis? Drop your thoughts, your wildest predictions, and your favorite Alex Eala moments in the comment section below. I will be reading through them and responding to as many as I can. If you enjoyed this deep dive analysis, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and allows us to keep bringing you the most in-depth, passionate sports storytelling on the platform. Make sure you subscribe and turn on those notification bells so you never miss an update, because as we head into the final Grand Slam of the year, the drama is only going to amplify. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep supporting your favorites. Keep bringing that incredible passion to the sport, and we will see you in the next breakdown.